Hello and welcome to this new edition of Eco Africa, the environment program, a co-production of Channels TV in Nigeria, Germans DW and NTV right here in Uganda. I am Sandra Twinodio and with me of course is my colleague Chris.
Hey there, Sandra. Always nice to see you. We got a lot of inspiring stories on programs about people who are committed to making a difference to the health and well-being of our planet. Here is a quick look at what's coming up. A conservationist in Namibia who is fighting to save hyenas. A pastry chef in Germany using an unexpected superfood in his creations. And an architect in Egypt who has devoted a career to sustainable development. We start the show with wonderful creatures, sea turtles. But these animals face numerous threats, including plastic pollution, poaching, and loss of habitat. Now in South Africa, researchers are working hard to understand what can be done to improve the chances for the leatherback sea turtle, which has the world's smallest breeding population of large sea turtle species.
The word for something wondrous in the Zulu language is isimangaliso, a fitting name for this wetland park in South Africa. Its rich biodiversity earned it a spot at UNESCO's World Heritage List, but it has another crucial role as Africa's last remaining nesting site of the world's largest sea turtle, the leatherback. The endangered species has been protected for decades, yet the population is stagnating. A team of researchers is trying to find out why.
The research that we've done so far has indicated that the nesting beaches here are incredibly well protected and that the habitat is very good. We get very high hatching success. So it suggests to us that it's not on the beaches where the problems are.
Every year in early November, some 70 leatherbacks come to the beach to nest. After sunset, Ronald Nell and her team seek them out to take a variety of measurements and biological samples. The reptiles can weigh over 600 kilograms. Some have 2-meter-long shells. Biologists also fit them with a satellite tag which allows them to learn more about their lives.
It will tell us whether she's going to a good foraging ground or whether she's actually interacting with threats such as fisheries, or whether she ends up in a part of the ocean which has got a huge amount of pollution. So we will know in real time where she is, what conditions she's at, how she behaves, and what the threats are that she's facing.
In addition to poaching and habitat destruction, other less direct threats continue to pose problems. Turtles easily become entangled in ghost nests, and if they're unable to free themselves, they drown. Another problem is plastic waste. Sea turtles feed on crabs. Algae and jellyfish and plastic bags and floating microplastics look a lot like food. Once ingested, the plastic can rupture organs or cause blockage resulting in starvation. In order to protect the leatherback sea turtles on land, the authorities also employ turtle monitors from the local community. They patrol the beaches during nesting season, mark the nests and measure the turtles. Mangani Mululi explains how this also benefits the local communities.
By protecting the turtles, their nests and hatchlings, the tourists will keep coming to see them. Looking after these sea creatures could help ensure my community and future generations will have a chance to earn an income from the industry.
Scientists here have been fitting leatherbacks with satellite tags for over 20 years. But the new tags allow the researchers to monitor their movements along South Africa's coast far more accurately. The data indicates that the turtles cover distances of up to 7,000 kilometers, traveling as far north as central Angola, which makes protecting them even more challenging.
As the species is extremely migratory, our responsibility as a national government is to coordinate the efforts that work towards conservation, management, and protection that can facilitate consistent protection of the species across national borders. And within the context of this project, we are trying to establish that the best possible science is being used to identify both critical sites for the species, whether it's foraging, nesting, or migration, but also to assist our regional partners in identifying these areas.
In addition to tagging the large animals, the researchers collect blood samples to help better understand their genetics.
104 south.
This could help provide a clearer picture of the general health of the population. The researchers hope that the combination of the different data will show where protection measures can be improved.
Every time that I see a leatherback, it is like looking back into evolutionary time. I mean, they are 65 million years old and they've been doing this ritual ever since. And the reality is that they are still, or now they are critically endangered species. So my hope for them is to actually, that we can make a difference in the conservation, that these numbers would recover and that we actually have a much larger population and that everybody should be experiencing this wonderful event.
The team's research is already paying off. In 2019, the government designated several new marine conservation areas and greatly expanded the Simaganseliso Wetland Park and the Marine Protected Area. Thanks to the information collected by the new tags, the scientists were able to prove that the leatherbacks don't just remain near the coastline, they also travel great distances offshore.
Sea turtles have powerful front flippers to propel them through the water. It's easy to see how they are capable of covering long distances. But many other species spend a lot of time on the move too. One of the most impressive is the Arctic tern. Every year, the birds fly an outstanding 90,000 kilometers back and forth between the poles.
That really is amazing. We humans may not manage quite so much over the course of a year, but for the right reason, we can go pretty far. And for our next report, we go to Zimbabwe, where a group of people prove that they know how to put a lot of active into their activism.
This group of environmental activists has a long road ahead of them. They plan to walk 142 kilometers across Zimbabwe in 3 days. But it's not just for fun or exercise. In Zimbabwe, more than 262,000 hectares of forest land is lost every year. Much of the wood is used or sold as firewood. The Friends of the Environment Initiative wants to raise awareness about the damage caused by deforestation. To support that message, the activists plant trees and share information along the way.
We go different places. There are places where there are no trees, and we teach people as we go. We plant trees as we go as well. These trees are our future. We need them. Trees are life.
The walkers have finally reached their destination. But that's just one reason to celebrate. The activists managed to plant around 1,000 saplings. And thanks to commitments from participating tree nurseries, a lot more will follow. The walkathon campaigns have been taking place for more than 10 years. So far, Friends of the Environment has helped plant around 35 million trees.
And how about you? If you're also doing your bit, tell us about it. Visit our website or send us a tweet. #DoingYourBit. We share your stories.
Just hearing about the long walks gives me the urge to have a cup of tea and perhaps something sweet to go with it. In Germany, for many families, Sunday afternoons are filled with baked goods, coffee and cake. Now, with a mind to the environment, one pastry chef has found a way to make tasty tartlets that include a very hidden and unexpected ingredient.
This bakery in southern Germany creates pastries with an unconventional filling. Ludovic Gerboin decided to devise climate-friendly treats, so he's using algae as an ingredient. In Japan, the aquatic plant is commonly used in snacks or served with fish. So how have the pastries been faring in Bavaria with its own culinary traditions?
People at first said, "What's that? I don't like fish." So it wasn't easy. But thanks to our social media posts, more people started trying it and realized it was pretty nice. When they found out it didn't taste like fish but quite nutty, it stopped being a problem. Quite the opposite, in fact.
He grows his algae at the Technical University of Munich, so far under lab conditions. Thomas Bruck has spent years researching how the organism's essential nutrients can benefit our food supply.
Algae is the new superfood because it absorbs CO2 while growing and has a positive impact on the climate. Its photosynthetic efficiency is 3 to 4 times higher than any land plant, and it grows 10 times faster while actively removing CO2. So eating algae products helps the environment.
Pastry chef Ludovic Gerboin now has a whole range of different snacks made from algae. And in many cases, their green credentials are clearly visible in their natural color. And with flavors also including chalk caramel, raspberry, and white chocolate, no sweet tooth goes unsatisfied.
People who live in rural areas know how difficult it can be to coexist with predatory animals. Spotting a lion in the grass in a national park may be exciting for the tourists, but the farmers tend to view them as a threat to their livelihoods.
Often for good reason, Sandra, but not all wildlife behave the same way. Conservationists in Namibia are trying to get more people to recognize some of the differences in order to protect both wild and domesticated animals.
The Skeleton Coast in northwestern Namibia is home to brown hyenas, also known as strand wolves.
Hyenas are very important in the ecosystem and they've got a very important role to play, but they're portrayed as the bad guys, and that's what people think about hyenas in general.
We are forever killing our goats, yet our hands are cut off and we can do nothing about it. But if the farmers come up and say, we are killing now, we are taking law in our own hands, I understand their pain.
We're now living in a nature reserve alongside wild animals. We can earn as much with them now as we do with goats and sheep, so I no longer shoot them.
The hyenas are perfectly adapted to the extreme desert conditions and icy cold Benguela ocean current. Biologist Mzi Fervei has been studying the animals here for 7 years and is still fascinated by them. She's a science coordinator for a tourism company that supports conservation projects in the region.
I've got a lot of respect for hyenas because to survive as a large scavenger in the desert, it's no mean feat. And they're also very social. When they're out there, they're solitary. So you just see these single hyenas out there, but when they're back at the den, when there are cubs at the den, there's a lot of social going on. There's a lot of time spent with the cubs, playing with the cubs, grooming the cubs.
Fervei discovered a network of dens off the coast where packs of sandwolves gather to socialize and share their catch. They carry carcasses dozens of kilometers through the desert to feed to their cubs in the dens. Scavenger animals like these prevent diseases from spreading, making them important for livestock farming. But their reputation as predators means they're mercilessly hunted.
People would put out poison for lions, for leopards, cheetahs, and then the hyenas would be bycatch of that. Just people are afraid of hyenas, so people don't appreciate the value of brown hyenas, and they're scared of the hyenas. So people would throw stones at them, they would chase them with cars.
"7 years of drought have ravaged the region. The animals here have to travel ever greater distances in search of food. This means they cross paths with farmers, like Emmanuel Gurirab, who are now losing more and more livestock to predators.
Issue today. The incident took place at Farm Leocop in the Konana region last week, where 2 lions killed 66 goats and 10 sheep belonging to farmer Emmanuel Gurirab.
As a result of the lion attack, Gurirab lost half of his herd, a sizable financial loss for the farmer. The government compensates farmers after such incidents, but at a rate around half of market value.
The wild animals from the desert, the lions, the elephants cause us a lot of problems. We don't gain anything from having wild animals here. They bring us nothing. Our livestock are our income, how we earn our living.
Near his stall, Gurirab has discovered fresh hyena tracks. Brown hyenas don't hunt goats, but the tracks could have been made by spotted hyenas, a more aggressive species.
If the government doesn't take care of the hyenas, we have no choice. We have to shoot them. That's the plan.
When he was a cattle herder, Phineas Kasaona also killed hyenas and lions. Today, he protects them. He's a ranger and member of the Anabeb Community Reserve. Since the 90s, farmers like Kasaona have joined neighbors to create their own nature reserves, which now cover about 1/5 of Namibia's landmass. Last night, elephants raided a neighbor's vegetable patch. So, for the next few nights, Kasaona will stand guard. Despite the problems they cause, the farmers still want to protect the animals.
Things have changed. Back in the day, if a hyena took one of your animals, you hunted it down and killed it. Today we live in a new world with laws that protect wild animals. And if we take care of them, we can even live from them. So we should try to live together. We do better then.
Farmers have agreed on limiting livestock so that both wild and farm animals can coexist. Since antelope populations increased, attacks by wild predators have gone down. Anabeb earns its income from tourism and was able to install electricity and water connections and rebuild a preschool. Back on the Skeleton Coast, a ranger informs Fairvey that an elephant calf is missing. The biologist fears the worst. She finds the calf halfway to a watering hole. Due to the ongoing drought, the mother couldn't lactate. There is no hope for the young elephant. Long periods of drought have made the fight for survival even harder here. Hyenas and other animals must search for new living environments. But with the help of researchers like Mzi Fairvey and community-based conservation efforts, there's still a chance in Namibia for people and animals to readapt and forge a life out of the desert.
As temperature rises, it's becoming even more crucial to find ways of keeping cool without putting an even greater burden on the environment. Air conditioners may seem like a wonderful invention, but they are bad for the planet and have actually been a major contributor to the problem of global warming.
This is why a lot of thought is now going into finding ways to make new and existing buildings greener. Our next report takes us to Egypt, where we meet an award-winning architect with a lot of experience in sustainable development.
We have extreme heat stress in Egypt. We are facing livelihoods that are being affected. why are there no green buildings in Egypt? And if there are, why are there so few? I really believe that if you tap into the indigenous knowledge, you will get the benefit of an existing technology that you didn't even realize was there.
It's this knowledge that Cairo architect Sara Al-Batouti wants to harness and implement in contemporary architecture. Her team designs buildings that have a positive environmental and social impact. Summer temperatures here can reach 50 degrees Celsius, and the sea of concrete buildings causes stifling heat. Residents who can afford it rely on air conditioning to cool their apartments.
30% of people's household income is going into cooling. So why should we not have buildings that provide cooling from the onset as opposed to just reaching out to conventional solutions?
The air conditioners also contribute to global warming, as many of the power plants in Egypt are fueled by oil and gas. One of the architect's projects is located 450 kilometers west of the Egyptian capital. Here in the Bahriya oasis, farm workers are busy weeding a chamomile field. They work for a large organic tea and herb company. In the summer, temperatures here frequently soar above 45 degrees Celsius, while in winter, the climate is relatively cold. Farm manager Atif Azazi says that many workers quit due to the unbearable living conditions.
When employees would come to work here, we had problems with our accommodation. At first, we had conventional accommodation, which was unsuitable for the hot weather or the cold.
The company was looking for sustainable solutions and asked Sara Al-Batouti's company to design new accommodation options with natural cooling for 140 workers. The architects examined the air passages and sunlight in order to control the airflow and shade. They then built the residential structures using recycled gravel and limestone bricks from a nearby quarry.
The dark color on the walls absorbs the heat when the wind comes through these areas. And the walls are insulated. This combination helps cool the airflow and gives extra thermal comfort to those living in the rooms or using the facilities.
Temperatures in the rooms are now maintained at a constant level of about 19 to 26 degrees Celsius throughout the year. Solar panels power fans indoors, while hot water is obtained from solar water heaters. The project has been awarded the Golden Pyramid Eco Label. The government commissioned Salah Al-Hagar to develop the national rating system. In response to its growing population, Egypt wants to reduce buildings' energy consumption.
I think architecture design should be converted totally into sustainable architecture design to save our resources. Now, with the green buildings, I think we can save the energy up to 50%. We can save the water up to 60%. And we can save a lot of materials over and above the improvement of the indoor environmental quality and the outdoor environmental quality.
The inspiration comes from traditional homes found in rural communities that are designed in harmony with nature and the environment. The aim is to positively impact those who will be using the buildings in the long term, which will benefit the city's current 20 million residents. And experts believe rural to urban migration will see Cairo's population double by 2050.
We've reached 10-degree cooling in some of our projects without any mechanical assistance. And this is the reason why we think we can pursue better solutions for rural communities, especially, and low-income housing, so that people are not continuously trying to correct what we did not address in the first place.
Sara Al-Batouti was recently appointed ambassador for the presidential initiative Decent Life. Her role will be to draw up green guidelines and promote climate change awareness. Egypt is not alone in its need to adapt large parts of its infrastructure to a warming planet. It's a global issue, and green architecture plays a crucial role.
Very interesting indeed. Well, I'm scared we've run out of time for this week. Thank you so much for joining us today, and do be sure to tune in again next time. I am Sandra Twinovideo, signing off from Kampala here in Uganda. See you next week, Chris.
Bye-bye, Sandra. Before I say goodbye, I just wanted to remind you that you can find the program and all our reports online. And please share your thoughts about the show with us on our social media platforms. For now, I'm Chris Alems in Lagos. See you again soon.